Buying your first bike can be a scary experience, especially if you've got no previous motorcycle knowledge. But fortunately, we've assembled 5 of the best learner bikes currently available to put them to the test and see which one will be crowned the 2023 Bikesales Learner Bike of the Year winner. But before we get into it, make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, and tell us in the comments below what your first bike was, or maybe what your first bike will be. And make sure you also check out our other 2023 Bike of the Year videos. All right, let's get cracking. There is nothing quite like riding a motorcycle. From the thrill and rush of the open road to the convenience of navigating busy urban environments, riding can offer many benefits. And with rising fuel prices, cost of living, traffic congestion, and smaller housing all becoming barriers to owning a car, there has never been a better time to switch to 2 wheels. Of course, there's a few things you'll need before starting your motorcycling journey, including obviously a learner's permit and quality safety gear. But you'll also need a bike of your own, and that's where things get a little bit tricky. Before you start your buying journey, you need to know that not every bike is learner approved. As a new rider, you'll be restricted to bikes that qualify for the LAMS or learner approved motorcycle scheme. And those bikes must be under 660cc, not modified to increase power mass ratio, be in original manufacture condition, and meet power to weight criteria. The good news is that there are loads of brakes and LAMS approved options available. But in 2023, we only had room for 5 finalists, so we decided to pick contenders that covered a wide range of genres, prices, and brands to give you a good idea of the variety available. And to put the bikes through their paces, we've assembled a team of 5 judges, including myself, that includes a mix of experienced riders, returning riders, and even new riders, ensuring we get a range of different perspectives. So without further ado, here are our 2023 Bikesales Learner Bike of the Year contenders. Our first contender is the all-new Royal Enfield Super Meteor 650, which is designed as a vintage-inspired high-weight cruiser and arrived earlier this year with a price tag just shy of $12K. Next up, we have the KTM 390 Adventure, which comes in at just over $10K and gives learners a well-equipped dual sport option for long-distance hauls on both tarmac and gravel roads. Our third machine is the CF Moto 450 SR, which is the newest and cheapest finalist. It checks in at just under $8K and acts as a great entry point into the world of sports bikes. The MT-07 LA is the elder statesman of the group, having served many learner riders for the better part of 10 years. It has received multiple updates in that time, and it currently checks in at about $13.5 grand, while offering slick Street Fighter style and performance in a beginner-friendly package. And finally, we have the reigning Learner Bike of the Year winner, the Triumph Tiger Sport 660. It's the biggest of the bunch and also the most expensive, with a price tag north of $15K. It sits in the adventure sport category with travel-friendly ergonomics and tarmac-focused sports performance. So now let's see how each bike stacks up against each other, and first up we're going to go through engine design and equipment. But if you want to skip ahead, just use the video chapters below. First cab off the rank is the Royal Enfield, and as you can see, it's a classically styled cruiser with plenty of beautiful Enfield styling. But while it looks like a vintage bike and rides like a vintage bike, it actually has a few modern tricks up its sleeve. Under the hood is the same 650cc parallel twin engine with EFI that powers the Interceptor 650 and Continental GT 650. But the SM650 uses a different chassis and is also the first Enfield to feature upside down suspension and LED lighting. The Super Meteor also has a relaxed ride position and a low seat height, but at 241 kilograms dry, it is the heaviest of the 5 bikes by a long way. Sitting in a completely different genre is the 390 Adventure, which has a nice usable single-cylinder engine, an upright adventure stance, and rugged and durable bodywork. And just so you know, the panniers are not standard. The 399cc single-cylinder engine is the smallest of our 5 competitors, but with a lightweight chassis and quality WP suspension, the 390 Adventure is almost like a dirt bike for the road and offers a fun and user-friendly platform for learner riders. The 390 also has generous ground clearance and suspension travel, which means it can venture off the tarmac. But while it is significantly lighter than the Meteor, it is the tallest of the bunch with an 855mm seat height. Next up is the CF Moto 450 SR, which is the newest bike here, having only been launched a few months ago. And it's the perfect opportunity for learner riders to unleash the MotoGP rider inside them. Well, at least with high vis and a lot less horsepower. The 450 SR is the cheapest bike here, but it still offers surprisingly good specification, with a solid parallel twin engine, adjustable suspension, Brembo brakes, and 17-inch alloy wheels complete with CST Adreno tyres. And while it is indeed sport focused, it still has a rather accessible ride position for beginners and matches the 390 Adventure for lightness with a sub 180 kilogram wet weight. And if all that wasn't enough, then the MotoGP inspired styling complete with winglets might get you across the line. Our fourth contender is something of an icon because this MT-07 has long been a favourite for learner riders in Australia, thanks to its aggressive Street Fighter styling, light handling and impressive parallel twin engine. The MT is beaten only by the Tiger Sport in performance stakes, but as far as learner-approved naked bikes go, there isn't much that will beat this parallel twin motor. The MT is also quite lightweight, but it's still a touch heavier than the KTM and CF Moto, while its seat height sits at 805mm. It is also the only bike of the five to use a conventional telescopic fork as opposed to an upside-down fork. And lastly, we have our reigning champ, the Tiger Sport 660, which is the most expensive bike here, but also arguably the best equipped. The Tiger's 3-cylinder engine offers the best performance of the bunch on paper, while the quality shower suspension, complete with a preload adjuster, Nissan brakes and tubular steel frame all contribute to a very refined motorcycle. The Tiger weighs in at just over 200 kilograms and has a seat height of 835mm, but it also offers the biggest fuel capacity, which suits its travel focus very well. Now let's look at tech and safety features, and the Super Meteor is perhaps the most basic of the bunch because it offers, well, not a whole lot. Aside from mandatory ABS, which all these bikes have, the Enfield shies away from any real modern tech, including traction control. The bike has a simple analog and digital instrument cluster with basic readouts and LED lighting, with its only real trick being the smartphone-enabled trip and navigation module. But from our experience, it's not the most intuitive system. The KTM, on the other hand, offers plenty of tech, much of which helps the rider swap between on-road and off-road terrain. The 390 has a small but functional TFT display which allows the user to change ABS, traction control and throttle settings for when they hit the dirt. The ABS is cornering friendly, while the bike also features smartphone connectivity. Perhaps the only downside is that the TFT menu system is a little bit fiddly. As the cheapest bike here, you'd expect the CF Moto to be pretty bare bones, but you'd be wrong. For a bike under $8,000, this offers plenty of value for money, including perhaps the best looking TFT screen of the bunch. The 450SR doesn't offer traction control, corner and ABS or any ride modes, but it does have what CF Moto calls the T-Box system, which allows for GPS data and location tracking, security features and over-the-air updates. It's a unique system that even many high-end motorcycles can't quite match. The SR also has a GP shift pattern setting, but there is no capability for a quick shifter just yet. The MT-07 is in something of a similar boat to the CF Moto. It's got a nice colour TFT screen, LED lighting and smartphone connectivity, but otherwise it's a pretty simple machine. There is no traction control, no corner and ABS and no ride modes, but the smartphone app is comprehensive and the TFT display is easy enough to operate. As some might say, it's often better to keep it simple, and that certainly rings true with the MT. And finally, we have the Triumph, which perhaps doesn't match the KTM, but still offers plenty of value in the tech department. The Tiger features switchable traction control, 2 ride modes, LED lighting and a dual TFT and LCD instrument cluster. The TFT menu system is a little fiddly though, and there is also no corner and ABS. And annoyingly, smartphone connectivity is an optional extra, as is a quick shifter and heated grips. So we've crunched the numbers and specs, and to be honest, it's like splitting hairs. All 5 of these bikes are well equipped and offer their own unique benefits, but I'm sure you all want to know how they compare on the road, so let's saddle up and get out there. First, once again, is the Royal Enfield, which offers a relaxed cruiser ride position, and while it won't be everyone's cup of tea, many will be drawn to its old school simplicity and user friendliness. It handles nicely for a cruiser, while the brakes and suspension tick the right boxes. The parallel twin engine is also a beauty, offering crisp throttle response and smooth power delivery. It isn't the fastest bike of the bunch, but it never feels underpowered. Perhaps its only downfall in this group is its weight, which will be intimidating for first-time riders. Next is the KTM 390 Adventure, which features a much smaller single-cylinder engine, but is no less exciting. The power is usable and substantial, and very learner-friendly, although it does start to struggle a little bit at highway speeds. But where the 390 really shines is with its versatility. It is lightweight and agile, and the suspension is very capable in a variety of conditions. While extreme off-road situations will be outside its wheelhouse, casual dual sport touring is what this bike does best, and it's the perfect entry point into the world of adventure motorcycles. As the only sports bike in the comparison, the CF Moto 450SR is quite niche, but a quick spin on twisty roads reveals this bike packs a very impressive punch. It is by no means a rocket ship, but as an entry-level track bike, it offers fun and learner-friendly power delivery and great handling dynamics. But while it is most at home on the track, it is still very capable as a daily commuter. The ride position is not too aggressive, and the agile handling makes it easy enough to ride in urban environments. Best of all, this machine is proof that CF Moto is capable of building high quality and exciting motorcycles. The 450 SR is the new kid on the block, but the MT-07 is the elder statesman, having long been a favourite for learner riders, and it's easy to see why. It offers exceptional engine and handling performance for a lambs bike with crisp power delivery and a lightweight and agile chassis. In fact, you'd be forgiven for thinking that this is not a learner bike at all, but it is still easy enough to ride and is the perfect companion for urban commuting or weekend day trips. And lastly, we have the reigning champ, the Tiger Sport 660, which is perhaps best described as refined. The 3-cylinder engine is possibly the best of the bunch, with enough performance to be exciting without compromising rideability. The bike also handles beautifully, while the suspension does a fine job too. Like the MT, it is perhaps not the most learner-friendly bike of this group, but it still offers learners an exciting and versatile touring experience. Well, that was a lot of fun, but it's also proof that any one of these machines would make for an excellent first bike. But alas, there can only be one 2023 Learner Bike of the Year winner. And to determine a winner, the judging team scored each bike on a range of different criteria, including engine and drivetrain, brakes and handling, technology, safety, value for money, and the all-important one for learner bikes, ease of use. And while the scoring was tight, one bike did emerge as a clear and deserving winner. So, without further delay, the 2023 Bike Sales Learner Bike of the Year is the KTM 390 Adventure. The 390 Adventure is fun, versatile, affordable, and easy to ride, and is packed with great tech and safety features, and it's an excellent proposition for new riders. Of course, it goes without saying, but not even our winner will suit every rider. As a learner, you need to find a bike that suits your riding style, intended purpose, and budget, so be sure to do your research before you buy. But there is no denying that the KTM 390 Adventure is an excellent machine, and if you do happen to make one your first bike, you won't be disappointed. And that's why it's the 2023 Bike Sales Learner Bike of the Year, proudly presented by Youi Insurance. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you like it, subscribe to the channel, and let us know in the comments below what you think of our winner. Is your winner the same, or would you pick a different bike?